Hey fellas, and welcome back to With a Y. Today I wanted to show y'all another Wojak, because what else am I gonna show you? We basically just play with dolls and smack them against each other on this channel. This comes from, at kwytebox, and they are a Retro Souls 2 fan. So, when you see that this Wojak is called the difficulty, in quotes, enjoyer, you know what type of games it's talking about. The difficulty enjoyer. Their hairline is not receding, but they willingly buzzed it all off and have very, very pronounced forehead wrinkles. Hi, Jack Manifold. They're wearing a I Heart Not Playing Games t-shirt, holy shit, dude, and have a #1 Breaktaker 2025 award, which means that this was almost certainly about Hollow Knight Silk Song. You should really take a break and come back to it later. And, you know, that seems like really, really good advice on its face. Like, if something's just really stumping you, sometimes, like, going off to do something else, go for a walk, maybe even play a different game, or, like, get some work done, go to bed if it's, like, late at night, and you're just, like, saying, one more attempt and I'll beat it tonight. Maybe you don't beat it tonight. Maybe you've beaten in the morning or tomorrow night. Sleep is how your brain makes sense and processes all the things you've learned and seen throughout the day as is. Maybe if you took a break, you might have more fun. Okay, I see where this is going. You might have more fun with the game if you weren't playing it. You best believe that this guy will take a break and come back to it later. Okay, this is like a particularly dangerous thing for me to do, because I'll say that, you know what, I'm just not gonna get this boss tonight, I need to put this down and just give it another shot tomorrow. Maybe I'll have my muscle memory more cemented, but then I'll like go 3 weeks to a month not playing the game ever again and then just never finish it. That is the danger with like putting something down and not finishing it in one sitting, or at least getting to like a good stopping point. Yeah, I got stuck there too. Had to take a couple of breaks. And that's like when it gets more dangerous. Let's say I remember to actually boot up the game the next day to give the section that I'm stuck on another try. If I have to take another break that same day and put it off again, the chances of me coming back go down exponentially every single time I have to go to bed before I beat the challenge that I'm stuck on. Spends his free time taking a break from his hobby. Your free time is like when you're supposed to do things that you like. It's like supposed to be your break from your everyday life. Personally, I don't think there's anything wrong with the difficulty. I will be honest, I'm not like against difficulty in games either, and like I understand certain things are designed with certain difficulties that just aren't going to appeal to me, but they absolutely are the reason I've just put down certain games and never come back to them. If you guys watch any of the gameplay on this channel, you know I'm like notoriously dog shit at basically every game I play here. At least you guys are very sure to let me know about that. But that said, this is like a Wojak, ostensibly, right? Like, it has all the makings of it. A lot of people have noted this, and I agree, that this man seems to only really radiate kindness in his face. The way he has had his features traced makes him seem very genuine, and it helps a lot that he's giving, like, unironically good advice. Like, this is stuff that doesn't just apply to playing a video game. This is pretty much any skill you're trying to get better at. I don't know what it is, but there's, like, this stigma about video games specifically, where like if you put something down, you're rage quitting, and it's shameful. All the challenges about games like Elden Ring are like, no, you're gonna stream and play it all in one sitting, and stream doesn't end, and you're not allowed out of this padded room until you finish it. I think that actually happened once. I'm pretty sure it was like Stable Ronaldo who did that. And the replies more or less agree, as well as, you know, Pussy Lover 69 agrees as well. He was so fucking right, man. You let that stigma around like quitting the game you're playing before you've beaten the boss hamper your actual ability to enjoy it. Because I want it now! You don't get to have it now, bro. You gotta learn delayed gratification. If you want it now, go scroll some TikTok. This is video games. You have to challenge yourself for risk reward if you want that fucking dopamine. There is no better feeling than being stuck on a hard boss, sleeping on it, and waking up the next day to one-shot it like Neo at the end of The Matrix. I'd say I have my breakthroughs like this most often when I sleep on a boss fight I'm stuck on, and then coming back to it later. But I've had moments where I'm stuck on a boss fight, getting pissed at the game, at myself, at my stupid chud life, and I'm like, you know what, I gotta put the Switch 2 down, and like, I'll take a walk for like just 15 minutes, and that's all it takes. I come back, and I fucking like, first try it immediately. Feels fucking good, dude. Now, I will say that this is like a feeling that I would oftentimes prefer to not run into. I would rather not get stuck on the boss because I'm just like good enough at video games. But then you have some people saying like, if you're playing a game like that, you should turn the difficulty up. If a game doesn't make you want to kill yourself, is it really a game worth playing? And I would say it genuinely depends on who you are and also the reason it makes you want to kill yourself. Like, I feel like the argument here is different if we're talking about the narrative being really depressing. And then you have some people who are railing against the thoughts expressed in this one meme. I do not take breaks. I do not come back to it later. I do not get stuck. I bash my head against the wall until I win. And if I don't beat it, I cry. Okay, Loki, you could have gone harder with what you do to yourself if you don't manage to pull it off. Listen, dude, I cry and then I take the break right after. These things are not mutually exclusive. I don't know why you think your anti-break taking position is somehow like an ownership of a monopoly over crying at how badly you suck at video games. Literally, anytime a game is really difficult, you get really mad and then are like, why the fuck am I doing this? And this ties back to my previous point where sometimes I ask myself, why the fuck am I doing this? Can't think of a good answer and genuinely just put the game down forever. About the point I was making earlier about being able to apply this to just about any skill you're trying to learn, you can apply this to art and it's just as effective. Like, sometimes you have to stop staring at something for the 10th consecutive hour in a row, and when you come back to it, your brain will suddenly just understand what it must do. I feel this a lot with writing. Like, I'll just find my brain absolutely bricked and unable to think of anything or connect any dots into like a coherent script or thought. And it doesn't work every time because sometimes writer's block goes a little deeper than needing to just not be looking at a blinking cursor on Google Docs for a little bit. But sometimes I'll like go on a walk and then the dots will literally get connected. It's good on one respect that I'm able to have the thought and implement it later, but also it's really inconvenient to try and fucking put it on your notes app. Voice memos are low-key goated. There's also the aspect of this where like continuing to throw yourself at the problem after you've been worn down by it can make you like get worse. Like, have you ever like sat down for a session against a boss and your first run is like the best you have of that entire playtime? Like, you get like 3/4 of the way through and then for some reason you can never get past the second attack after that. This guy puts it pretty good. When you keep failing, you get more angry and make more mistakes. Your rage just makes it so that you're compounding the issue. There have been many times in Hollow Knight where I struggled with the boss for the whole day, but next time in the morning, I beat it first try. It's part of like why I can't understand when Delta in Chapter 3 and 4 came out. They were probably better at the game baseline than me, to be fair, but when they found out the night fight was beatable, instead of moving on to Chapter 4, they just stayed on Chapter 3 and kept throwing themselves at the night learning the attacks until they were able to get past it. Me, like, I could only do like 30 minutes at a time, and I did like 3 sessions over the course of 3 weeks or something. Like, I'd take week breaks in between and only boot it up if I felt it in my soul that I wanted to try again. Taking a break from one doesn't mean you can't play others. Like, I don't think there will be a day I go without just playing 3 rounds of Sudoku in a row. The longer you hit the wall, the more frustrated you get. The more frustrated you are, the worse you play. Simple as. British person detected. Take breaks, stretch, walk. Heavy on the stretch, dude. I can feel like my back muscles tweaking right now while I record this video. Drink some water, sleep on it. I promise you the wall will not move until you break it, and you will break it. If your games don't stress you out, you might as well go play with action figures. Okay, you know what? Let's not downplay how stressful playing with action figures can be, alright? This pic fucking cracks me up because I only see kindness in this man's face when it was meant to shit on him. I feel like you see that happening more and more. Like, outlines of people intended to mock them just end up being positive representations that end up resonating with the people consuming it, even though the person making it probably had hate in their heart. I think a lot of people would honestly enjoy more games if they didn't try and beat them all in a week or two. Probably some truth to this, but I think it's more like an issue of time to commit to these games than it is like trying to beat the clock. For me, I try to beat games that come out because like if it's story focused, I am like deathly afraid of spoilers. It's kind of interesting because games back in the day, like this person is saying, were kind of designed like this because like NES cartridges just didn't have a lot of space. They were made oftentimes very arbitrarily difficult so that like the game would last longer before you beat it, because as a kid who was fucking stupid and an idiot, you die over and over and over and over again instead of making any real progress. Anyways, that's all I got. That kwytebox email is in the description if you guys want to send me any video topics. Anyways, piss off.